everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Talking Toku, Boston and Bellingham's only podcast about Godzilla, Gamera, Ultraman, and all of their kaiju friends. I am your host, David.
I'm the other host.
Do you need help remembering your name, sir?
It's Bryan.
Okay, there you go. I just... yeah, you definitely seemed like you forgot.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you remember your name. We'll keep that in mind for next time. We don't want to forget it again.
My name's Bryan.
Your name, yeah, there you go. Your iconic catchphrase.
Yep.
Bryan, I gotta say, I think at this point we need to change. We need to change our intro, the intro spiel, because by now it's not just Godzilla, Gamera, Ultraman, and kaiju. We should really include dinosaurs in there at some point too now.
Yeah, we really should.
Because Bryan, tell me, what are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking about the hit new movie 65.
Oh, best picture contender for next year.
Boy,
wouldn't you agree?
Was it really a movie?
It sure was.
That I watched and immediately called Dave out of anger after leaving the theater.
We'll get to that because I do want to give my thought process on that whole moment there because it was very funny. I'll need to tell you where my mindset was at that moment because it'll add to the enjoyment of it, I think. But before we get to that, we have some news here, Bryan. So why don't you take it away for us?
Okay, huge news. The 1997 micro series Godzilla Island has started airing on the official Godzilla YouTube channel. The series features action composed entirely of Bandai figures and is responsible for such cult classic takes on characters like Black Mechagodzilla, Firefighter, and Medical Jet Jaguar, and of course, Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah. Episodes will drop every Tuesday and Thursday, and given that there are nearly 300 episodes, it might be a while before we see the end.
Bryan, we gotta watch Godzilla Island.
I think you're right. We're gonna have to keep up. What do you think will take us longer? Watching Kamen Rider at the rate that we're watching it now, or watching this series on YouTube as it airs?
Well, when's the last time we actually watched Kamen Rider is the question.
But it was probably a month or two ago.
At least a month or two ago, yeah. I want to say it was maybe late January or early February. One of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Godzilla Island, those episodes are only 3 minutes long, but again, there are 297 of them. You know what? Let's see if we can do the math. Let's see.
I can't do math, man.
Let's see.
You're gonna have to do it.
I gotta think how to do this. So it's 297 episodes at a rate of two per week, and there's 52 weeks in a year. How do I do this? I'm really showing how terrible I am at math right now. Hold on. So 2 times 52 divided by okay, so it'll take if I did this correctly, which I may not have. It's gonna take about a little, almost 3 years for the whole series to air on YouTube. If I did the math right, which again, who knows if I did.
Well, I mean, so that's 2 episodes a week.
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't really matter how long the episodes themselves are,
No, it
because
doesn't.
we're watching it as they air.
Well,
So
assuming we actually do that.
what does matter is how long the Kamen Rider episodes are, because they're all out and we can binge them all.
This is true, and we have not really done that.
No. I'm afraid to keep watching because we watched the greatest piece of media ever released last time, and I don't think they can outdo it.
This is true. I mean, I'm sure there's still some gold to be found within the further episodes. So I think we should get back on that sooner rather than later, because there are other things I feel like we need to watch. I still want to continue watching Red Man, and I still really want to watch Godzilla, Brian. We got to watch Godzilla.
Okay.
And now Godzilla Island we have to watch as well.
Yeah.
And I think, actually, now that I think about it, I think the reason they're starting to put up Godzilla Island is because they finally finished up putting all the episodes of the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla series on YouTube as well. So we should watch that as well, because I don't think I've watched that in its entirety. We have too many things to watch, Brian. God.
There is too many things to watch.
And you have even more things to watch, like Ultraman and Gamera.
Yeah. Yeah, it's busy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, get on with the second piece of news, Dave.
I will. A trailer for stuntman Koichi Sakamoto's new film, Ninja vs. Shark, has appeared online. Sakamoto, of course, is a legend in tokusatsu, having directed a number of Power Rangers, Kamen Rider, and Ultraman episodes, having most recently directed for Ultraman Decker and Kamen Rider Geats. Anyway, if the name alone isn't enough to get you interested in the movie, I mean, come on, Ninja vs. Shark, what more could you possibly fucking want? Surely the trailer will, so go check it out.
I love sharks. The shark better win.
I don't know, man. We'll see. Ninjas are pretty cool.
Ninjas are cool, but have they existed for millions of years?
I mean, maybe. Who knows?
I doubt it. Sharks are basically dinosaurs.
This is true, but ninjas have swords.
But sharks have hundreds of teeth.
But those teeth are small compared to a sword.
Yeah, but they have an infinite amount of them.
I mean, technically, you can have an infinite amount of swords as well if you make them fast enough.
I guess so.
I think they're evenly
God
matched.
damn it, this is so lame. This is like every who would win scenario on fucking Reddit. Oh my god. All right, let's move on to a piece of news that's actually pretty close to me.
It is.
And I mean all of us here, I mean,
just people, just not even it definitely does
I mean everybody knows about it,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure, you know, Lance Reddick's been in basically, like, if you've watched any media ever, like if you're a movie person, if you're a TV show person, or you're a video game person, or whatever, you've seen Lance Reddick in something
for sure. He's
anyways,
everywhere basically.
Yeah, as we know, Lance passed away at 60. He's been, you know, known for being in The Wire, Fringe, the John Wick films. He was also in an uncredited role in Godzilla 1998, which I did not know until just now. And he was in Godzilla vs. Kong for like 30 seconds. But you know what? That still counts. So, you know, rest in peace, man. For me, he was Zavala in Destiny 2, which is like the biggest role that I was like keeping up with or whatever, because I played that game a lot. But yeah, so it's a huge bummer. Like, basically the entirety of the internet was like, you know, making tributes and shit over the weekend. So
yeah, I saw multiple screenshots and clips of people like gathering around Zavala in Destiny 2 just to like pay tribute to him, and it was. And again, I you know, Brian, I'm not one for Destiny, but even that, I was like, man, that's kind of really, really touching, actually.
I played last night. There were still people over there crowding.
I'm not surprised.
Like, promoting and shit. Yeah, I mean, he was like an actual player too. Like, he had plenty of like Instagram posts of him just sitting on his couch with his dogs playing.
Oh, really?
Destiny
That's
and
great.
stuff.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah. He was a cool dude, and he was a very solid 60.
Yeah,
Like,
he looked phenomenal. I was under the impression he was like early 50s at most was how good he looked. But yeah, it's a damn shame. I mean, a lot of people, he hasn't had many big roles throughout his career, so at least in the movie verse. Like, he's had a number of like sizable roles on TV, like with The Wire and Fringe, and most recently in the Netflix Resident Evil.
oh my God, I forgot. I don't know why I forgot, because he was far and away the best thing about that show.
Yeah.
like we never recorded it, but we were gonna do a podcast on the Resident Evil movies and the show. And Dave and we watched the entirety of the fucking Resident Evil Netflix show. It was awful.
What a terrible time that was.
Lance, every time he showed up on screen, he made it bearable.
He did. He was by and large the best thing about that. Especially when later on, when, hey, spoilers for this really shitty show that you shouldn't really watch anyways. There's a bunch of clones of Albert Wesker, and so obviously he plays all of them, and we're introduced to Bert. God fucking bless Bert. He was the best part of that.
Even the scene where he like threatened the school bully's dad to like get him blacklisted from every company on Earth.
Yeah.
That scene was also pretty solid.
I don't know. The Olive Garden breadsticks freak out is probably the best thing about that entire series. The single best thing.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's a limit. They're not unlimited, Brian.
Yeah, but, that's true.
Yeah,
that's why you don't go to Olive Garden.
Exactly. I've never actually been to Olive Garden in my life, and I have no plans to start now.
Bad.
In regards to Godzilla 1998, he was. I haven't watched it recently, which is really bad considering I co-host a podcast about the movie. He is apparently a soldier on the bridge near the end of the movie. I don't know. I don't even know if you can see him, like, make out his face, but that's apparently where he is in the film.
Maybe it's time to go back and watch it. Maybe we should do an episode.
We should. I could get Chris, my boy Chris, on. He can be a friend of the show. It'll be some. I mean, it's already he already promotes No Croissant as like a powered by Talking Toku kind of thing. So it'll be some nice cross promotion.
We should absolutely do that, and we should just make it like a glowing review of the movie so that all of Reddit gets mad at us.
That'd be pretty funny. But
which
anyways,
I guarantee it will unironically turn into like this movie was actually not that bad kind of.
No, 100%. I mean, that's what it turned into when we reviewed the movie for No Croissant. So,
Yeah.
Anyways.
No, we should definitely do that.
Yeah. Anyways, so rest in peace, Lance Reddick. It really, especially because John Wick Chapter 4 comes out this week. He passed a week before the movie came out, and it really sucks that he's not going to be there to see the reaction to that film, because from what I've been hearing, it's the best one. So we'll see.
I'm going to be sure to go see it.
I already got my tickets.
Yeah.
Which actually, I hate to do a random aside, but this really annoyed me. So I was buying my tickets for it. And you know how there's like, when you go to a movie theater, they have like the standard, then like the Dolby, then the IMAX stuff, which are always much more expensive than like just the regular theater seating.
Yeah.
They didn't fucking have standard seating. Like they didn't. It was only being showed in the Dolby and IMAX viewings. Like there wasn't. I couldn't go see it regularly. I had to pay $20 and not 15.
Well, that's annoying.
It was really annoying. I'm like, what the fuck? Seriously?
No. Did you try a different theater?
I tried multiple different theaters. It was all the same.
Shit. That sucks.
It was very upsetting. I even like tried different days too. It's ridiculous. Anyways.
Damn, I should check my theater and see.
Yeah. Take us out, Brian. This one's pretty cool.
But I just
Oh,
read
that,
the last one.
I'm sorry. We went, but so there was so much back and forth in that last one. I kind of
I
lost
mean, I
track of
can
who.
do the last one if you
No,
want
no,
me
no,
to.
no. It's okay because I know you'll probably butcher the fucking name anyways.
I'm not that bad anymore.
You sure about that, Brian?
I've gotten at least a little bit of practice in with my foreign names.
Okay.
I can pronounce Minnesota.
Okay. Very cool. Good job. Anyways, this is actually really, really cool and not something I ever expected to be talking about. University of Minnesota Press has announced plans to publish the first ever English translations of Shigeru Kayama's novelizations for Godzilla and Godzilla Raids Again to be released later this year in October. Kayama, of course, also was a screenwriter for both of those films, so it's going to be really, really cool to finally get a chance to read his novelizations. Yeah, I never thought I knew the novelizations existed, but I never in a million years thought we'd get to read them, especially in like an official capacity. Like, I'm sure there are fan translations out there. In fact, I know there are. I think one of my friends has read them, but an official translation licensed and published, that's like unheard of. I never thought that would happen.
Yeah, I mean, I remember you texting me about that, and I didn't respond, but I did, like, I'm pretty psyched. Like, I'll buy that. That's gonna look cool on the shelf.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited for it because, like, we don't. I am personally not really one for movie novelizations, but
Most of them are pretty bad. But
yeah,
if they're like official, then a lot of them are just kind of like the movie but words.
Yeah, and I know sometimes they do like expanded stuff as well.
Yeah, the best ones, they always have like expanded view on the story, like more context.
Yeah, like how the Rise of Skywalker novelization had to like provide more context for the movie because it was so bad.
Oh yeah, I watched I think it was Eckhart's Ladder's review of it, and he said that it really didn't make it much better, regardless.
Yeah, pretty much.
He said that it actually made it worse.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So yeah. But yeah, no, that's really, really cool, and I'm really excited to read that. So that'll be out October 3rd of this year. So keep
some
an
good Halloween
eye out.
reading.
Yeah.
Which is very suiting because the first Godzilla is the probably the closest to a horror movie you're gonna get.
And it's exactly a month before before Godzilla Day itself. So
yeah, that too. Yeah.
One bonus piece of news that I just thought of. The Titanic Creations Gorgo figure is now available to pre-order. Go fucking buy that shit, man. It's gonna look really, really cool. They got like stretch goals for it. They already got enough pre-orders to actually make the figure, but now they have like stretch goals for like bonus stuff. I'm gonna just bring it up right now because it looks really cool. Where is he? Where's Gorgo? Where's my boy Gorgo? There it is. So they're currently at 461 orders placed, which means the figure is going to come with a little baby Gorgo. It is also going to come with the Bell sub from the movie where they go down into the water to see Gorgo. Once it gets to 500, it's going to come with a jet squadron. 600, you get a whole ass Big Ben to go along with it. And then at 750 orders, the eyes will light up. So go pre-order that thing. It's surprisingly cheap. I've never purchased anything from Titanic Creations, but it's only $100. It's not too bad. And I've seen pictures of some of their figures. They're really, really nice looking. So I think it's a pretty good price point. And
$100 is pretty good in comparison to the prices of other figures that you are excited about.
I know. What figures are you referring to, Brian?
I don't know. A bunch of the nice ones.
That's fair.
I don't remember them all.
Really,
you know me. I'm not really I don't know. I don't have the space.
I mean, neither do I.
Well, yeah, but you had space, and now it's all taken up by a bunch of shit that you bought.
I know, and yet I'm still buying figures. So
Oh my god, you should make a museum.
I don't have enough. I don't have enough stuff for a museum. That's not gonna work.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So, all right,
All
yeah,
right.
that's all I wanted to mention. Let's get to talking about 65, Brian.
I'm gonna pull up the IMDb page.
Go for it.
All right.
But I will start off by explaining the story.
Well, should we
go for it? Yeah, you go for it. I'll let you do your thing.
All right. So today we are talking about the hit movie 65.
10 stars out of 5.
And it was directed by and written by Scott Beck and Bryan Woods, who are also known for A Quiet Place,
which is a significantly better film than this, I think.
Yes. It stars Adam Driver, Ariana Greenblatt.
I honestly thought you were about to say Ariana Grande. I'm like, she was not in that movie.
No, that would be really funny though. Yeah, well, I saw it yesterday, or no, I saw it on Saturday. Dave saw it a week ago.
Yeah, I have, and I've kind of, I'm not gonna lie to you, Brian. I've kind of forgotten it already.
Yeah.
This will be an interesting discussion.
The basic gist of the movie is that they're
also, hold on. Spoilers for this movie because the movie, the opening scene of this movie has a pretty big thing that is not at all conveyed by the trailers whatsoever. So let me explain. The trailers really make it out to seem like it's a reverse Planet of the Apes thing. Like Adam Driver is a future man, and he somehow goes back in time and crash lands on prehistoric Earth. Not the case. He's a fucking alien.
Yeah. So off of IMDb, the storyline is after a catastrophic crash by a very human-looking alien race. The pilot, Mills, played by Adam Driver, discovers he's stranded on Earth 65 million years ago. And he has to basically get off Earth with this little girl named Koa that he finds. They can't communicate because for some reason the writers thought it would add something to the movie to make there be a language barrier. Didn't add anything. If anything, it made the movie more obnoxious. And they have to get to the escape pod thing that somehow still works. But they got to fight their way through some really terrible looking dinosaurs. And also the meteor. The meteor is of course coming because this is a movie. This is a movie set 65 million years ago with dinosaurs, and if there isn't a meteor, you're doing it wrong. So that's the basic gist. This movie sucked.
I don't even know where to start. But because it was one of the first things. Wow, Mills, what a very alien sounding name.
Yeah. So I mean, this is probably the biggest thing that was just like a giant mindfuck to me. Like, you could have done so many cool things with like, with like weird space-time physics. Like somehow, Mills was like a human. He accidentally went back in time or some shit, like Twilight Zone kind of thing. But no, they made him a fucking alien that we're somehow supposed to believe that there is a alien race that's existed for millions of years that is spacefaring, looks exactly like humans, uses meters and kilometers, and
I didn't even catch that.
Just a bunch of other very human like characteristics. It's like that is somehow the most unbelievable thing in this movie.
I know, it's wild because like even their technology, it's just like, all right, yeah, that's just a grenade basically.
Yeah,
there's just nothing. The only thing that's even remotely alien is their technology, and even then, it's like, oh, I could see that just being future technology for us here on Earth. There is nothing remotely alien about it.
His gun was literally just a gun.
I know,
like a regular gun. Like maybe it was like like a uh like a I don't know, I forgot the name of it. Like one of those the magnet guns, whatever you call it. Like the I don't know, it
A
uses
railgun?
magnets. Yeah, kind of like a miniaturized railgun. Like maybe I can believe that. Yeah, but still, that's like technology within our grasp now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, legitimately, this wouldn't have made the movie better, mind you, but it would have made it more, like, slightly more interesting. Like,
Yeah,
if they had replaced Adam Driver Man with, like, as a example, the prawns from District 9. If they just looked like that, it would have been a little more interesting. But no, it's just a human. It's just a dude.
or if they went with the aforementioned like breaking the space-time, laws of space-time, accidentally go through like a wormhole or some shit, and then you have to deal with being on prehistoric Earth. That would also be pretty interesting.
And we actually
There's so much other shit you could have done with the main character aside from making him a fucking alien, because it is so stupid.
And we actually talked about this well before the movie came out as another potential thing to make it more interesting. It could have been like far, far into the future.
Yeah,
like and like we had like dinosaurs, quote unquote dinosaurs, like kind of took the Earth back over. That would have been way more interesting than going back in the past, because boy, do those dinosaurs look like shit. Oh
yeah,
my
they do look
god.
like shit. I mean, we'll get to that later, but then there's also like I think another thing that I had mentioned that's a cool idea is like, what if it's future man, but they stumbled across like a very Earth-like planet that just somehow managed to go down a similar evolutionary path to end up with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And then it would explain some of the more egregious looking dinosaurs that were not real that showed up in the movie, because like 90% of the dinosaurs we'll get to this later in a little bit, but 90% of the dinosaurs did not look like dinosaurs that actually existed.
No,
like they look like aliens themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
So for me, in my head, I figured that this movie probably went through some like, it was either super rushed, which is probably the most likely case, or it had a bunch of rewrites. And my head thinking was that they had these assets made for like alien looking dinosaurs or dinosaurs that weren't real, or they're just fucking lazy. I honestly don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it's also
the
fact
have a
that
feeling
like
somewhere that the story was different.
It's possible. I have no idea. I mean, the thing is, the movie was very cheap. It was only had a budget of $45 million, which is not much. So I don't know. It's it's hard to say, man. It really is.
It definitely seemed like the studio knew it was going to be bad, and they just kind of threw it out in March when nothing else is really coming out, which is kind of bullshit because a bunch of good movies came out this month.
Oh wait, no, that came out last month. Never mind. I was gonna make a joke about Ant-Man 3, but that was late February, so never mind.
Scream 6 was great. Cocaine Bear was fun. And then John Wick comes out this month.
This is true.
So, anyways,
another thing about the naming stuff. The only reason I remember the name Koa is because that's the name of my cousin's dog.
Wow.
That's the only.
Do we want to talk about the language barrier and how nothing it was?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay.
Well, actually, I want to tell my story about your reaction to this movie, because I haven't done that yet.
Sure.
So let me set the stage here. So as we teased last episode, at least I assumed you did this, but I definitely did. Bryan and I went to this movie very high because we figured that was the only way we were going to get any sort of enjoyment out of it. I, for one, had a fun time. I thought it was really funny bad. And then this past Saturday, I'm working the late shift. It's 10 o'clock. Well, it's 10:30 because I have to do all the closing stuff.
I was gonna say it was basically 11.
Yeah, no, it was 10:30. I'm locking up the doors. I'm literally locking the door. My key is in is in the lock, turning. I feel my phone buzz. I'm like, whoa, who the fuck is calling me this late? I take it out and I see it's you, Bryan. I'm like, oh no, Bryan never calls me.
Yeah, that's always the rule. That's the rule with like our like with dudes specifically. Like if they call you, some shit's going
bad.
down.
Yeah, it's something bad.
Someone died,
yeah.
or something stupid happened.
Yeah, literally. I think the last time I called you was to tell you that Takarada passed away, and now this is the next one. But yeah, and I immediately answer. I pick up the phone and I say, the fact that you're calling me, Bryan, worries me.
Before I even had the chance to say anything, you were just like, the fact that you're calling me, like you fucking knew.
Yeah.
But like, because you answered it like that, my mental image was that you were just like waiting somewhere, staring at your phone, ready to pick it up.
Just ready to hear your reaction to the movie. Oh my god.
Yeah. I thought about texting it to you, but like I just had to talk about it.
It was too important. It was too important. I understand.
And then like, and so I saw this with Sam, our number one fan and my lovely girlfriend, and she fucking hated it. she had an awful time. Like if I wasn't there, I think she might have walked out.
I wouldn't have blamed her, honestly.
Because she actually has standards, unlike us, apparently.
Oh God.
So yeah, we got her brief opinion on it when you asked over the phone call. She hated it a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I said that you had lied to me because you said it was funny bad, but
I still stand by that.
I
stand by that. I thought it was really, really funny bad. And I let me tell y'all, if you go to see this, feel free. I'm not gonna, forbid you from seeing this film, but this is my own personal opinion. I cannot fathom watching this movie sober. Yeah, I really cannot fathom watching this movie sober, and I'm glad I didn't, because I probably would have had a much more miserable time with it if I had been sober at the time. So I think getting high before going to see it was the right call, because let me tell you, as we discussed, the meteor is a thing, and boy, I had to struggle not to like just burst out laughing when I first saw that like glow in the sky from below. I was like, there is no fucking way that is the meteor. But of course it would. What the hell else would it be? And it was just very funny.
I got a question for you, Dave.
Yes, I have an answer for you. Hopefully,
how full was the theater when you went to go see it?
Not very. And this was opening night, mind you. There was like, I don't know. It was not many. It was a small handful of people.
So I didn't tell you this, but my theater was actually surprisingly full.
Was it really? Oh my god!
It was surprisingly full. A lot of families actually. But kids included. There were kids too, and let it be known, kids are stupid. They like garbage. I was once a kid who used to like garbage. But when this movie was over, dead silence. People just got up and left.
Okay.
Like nobody talked about it at all. They just fucking left. And I heard one dude go, "Well," and then didn't say anything else and then left.
I see. Okay.
So that was the general sentiment, and I'm willing to bet that most people there were not high like I was.
Probably not. So they probably didn't have as good a time as I did.
No. They I don't know. It's hard to say whether they had a worse or better time than me. Because I was high and I still hated it. Like it was not fun. Let's talk about the dinosaurs.
Before we do that, can we talk about the absolute tonal inconsistency of this movie?
Oh yeah, sure. With the stupid funny scenes that then lead
Yeah,
to them getting in a huge fight.
yeah, which is just it's so ridiculous. Like,
Oh, that was so stupid.
so it starts off like relatively ground is not the right word for it, like serious, because like the reason Mills goes into space is because his daughter's dying and he has to make some money to get her treatment, so he goes off into space to do some work for 2 years, mind you, and
Yep.
that's what leads to him crashing. And then he finds Koa, who's like the only other survivor on the ship. Do we ever learn the purpose of the ship?
No.
Why
I
is
mean,
there a small child aboard the ship?
I'm going to assume that it's like a colony ship.
I
Uh,
guess
because they had a bunch of people in random cryopods and
Mhm.
whatever, and like that's just kind of, what it came
It's not
across
made
as.
clear. It's not made clear in the least.
But hey, it could be a prison ship, and Koa could be a fucking like psycho axe
It's
murderer. And
possible. I mean, she never
I,
I never got that vibe from her, but it's possible. Who knows?
yeah,
Anyways, so yeah, he kind of see Koa. They can't talk, as we've talked about, because there's some weird language barrier that we'll get into. Um, and there's this really weirdly upbeat scene of them like getting to know each other that I can't remember the specifics of at the moment because again it's been over a week since I've seen the movie.
well, I remember there's the one scene where they're like, they're going through the forest.
It's like a montage
they're
scene.
they're hearing dinosaur sounds everywhere, and then I'm just gonna call him Adam Driver because
Yeah.
I can't keep saying Mills. It's gonna put me
Mhm.
to sleep. Um, so he like swats a giant beetle mosquito thing,
Mhm.
and it's like all goopy and gross.
Yep.
And then he like wipes his hands on like a tree, and then he like starts chasing Koa around with his dirty,
Oh, yeah.
gross,
That's right.
bug smeared hands.
For
And then
absolutely no reason.
she like runs and then falls down somewhere, and then almost gets like spotted by a dinosaur. And then Adam Driver's like mad at her for not listening to him, despite the fact that he was the one that chased her off into a potentially dangerous
Yeah.
situation. Yeah, that was stupid. There was also a lot of times where they use like the language barrier kind of like as a joke, but
Mhm.
it's essentially just like every like Walmart interaction between like someone not speaking English and then some racist person trying to make them speak English, where they just yell louder.
Yeah. Which yeah, because that always works.
And like it happens throughout the whole movie. Like it's almost like the directors forgot that that was a plot point that they put in, like where Adam Driver just yells stuff louder and then Koa just gets it,
Mm-hmm.
even though she doesn't speak alien English. Yeah, it didn't make any fucking sense.
No.
Yeah, like it didn't it didn't follow any of the rules that it set up. Like that's why the language thing literally didn't add anything, because like Koa still magically understood everything that Adam Driver was saying.
Yeah, there was no
After-
reason for that language
certain
barrier
point.
to exist because she was
Yeah.
just like, "Yep, I get it now. I was told this thing twice. Now I understand."
Yeah. Oh, and then there was also the like the so some of the future technology that Adam Driver has. One of it's like a multi-tool like imaging thing, but it
Mhm.
also has like a projector on it. And there's like this very lifelike projection of Adam Driver's dead daughter.
Yeah. Whoa,
Or-
spoilers,
We'll say
Bryan.
Mills' dead daughter. It's not a spoiler.
It's a spoiler. We don't learn she's dead until like halfway through the movie.
I guess so. Yeah, well, spoilers, his daughter's dead, like actually, but they kind of gloss over
They
it,
really
honestly.
do gloss. I will be, full transparency. I missed the fact that she was dead until I reread the synopsis on Wikipedia later.
It was literally like Koa like stumbles across all the tapes and whatever and watches all of them, and then like at the very end she sees that his daughter like died.
Yeah, like I
Whatever.
got that, and she was like learning what his relationship with his daughter was, but I missed the fact that she had died. So you know,
but I think probably if I'm gonna pick my favorite scene in the whole entire movie, it is the scene where they're fighting the two T-Rexes, like right at the end, and they use the projector as like a lure, but it just makes the T-Rexes try and attack this like very lifelike projection of his daughter while Adam Driver watches and just cries. It's such a like just an awkward scene.
It's so weird.
It's like it's not like I know it's trying to be like heartfelt and you know like he's just gonna let his daughter go or whatever.
But also there's these
but like it's funny.
Tyrannosaurs just trying to rip his non-existent daughter to shreds. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Very unintentionally funny.
Yeah, that's a lot of this movie.
yeah, 100%.
But like it's not even enjoyable. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Like there's a lot of stuff on its own that would be funny, but in the context of the movie, I was just so bored by it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe I needed to drink. Maybe that's the secret.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe it's an alcohol movie, not a weed movie.
Well, I'm never fucking watching this movie ever again, Brian. So
neither am I.
You can do that experiment on your own time.
Any of our devoted fans, if you guys want to test this theory for me, I'll give you nothing, but I'll accept praise.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're not getting anything from me. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. So how about those dinosaurs, Brian?
Yeah, they were really bad. I don't think there were any dinosaurs that I even like recognized outside of the T-Rexes.
Yeah, I mean there may have been like
pterodactyls, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, there was something that looked like a raptor of some kind. It was the right size for a velociraptor. I'll give it that. It still looked like a Jurassic Park 3 looking thing, but it was the right size. So that's something.
You know, I think the best like way I can describe them is it's like if a 5-year-old drew a bunch of dinosaurs and then the CG artists used that for the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people when the trailer for this dropped. I saw a lot of people comparing the Tyrannosaur to the V-Rex from the 2005 King Kong.
I was actually thinking that,
but which is funny because that is a fictional creature, and yet that looks more scientifically accurate than anything in this film, which is not a good look. To be fair,
yeah. The T-Rexes, they looked very like crocodilian almost.
Yeah, which is not good, mind you.
Yeah.
There were those those weird like quadruped lizard things.
Yeah, the dogs. Those were terrible.
Those I could not. Here's the thing, like. Okay, the Jurassic films are not exactly scientifically accurate, but at least with the dinosaurs in those films, you can more or less recognize the species.
And they're also like pretty iconic looking.
Yeah, this movie, not so much. Like you said,
weird that a lot of the made up dinosaurs, they didn't even look cool. They looked really generic.
Yeah. Like the dog looking one was, I wouldn't even say it was generic. It just looks fucking weird and I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
I think if you adjusted the proportions a little bit, it would have looked better, but it was just way out of proportion with its body and I hated it. But the big thing was like the quote unquote final boss, which was just a T-Rex on 4 legs, and I hated it. I hate that thing so much.
Yeah, it was
never should have existed. I don't know what possessed Misters Beck and Woods to create that thing, but I hated it with a passion.
Yeah, it looked like shit.
And the funny thing is, that thing is in the trailer. It's one of the final scenes where they're like at the geysers, and its front legs in the trailer, its front legs are actually like hidden by steam from the geysers. Like they didn't want people to know that the thing had 4 legs.
Thank God.
And I'm like,
I
why?
didn't even notice that. I only
why
watched
did-
that trailer like one time.
You should go back and rewatch it just for that, just to see what I'm talking about. But it's like, if you wanted to hide it because you know you did a bad thing, why did you do it in the first place?
Just go back and just touch it up a little bit.
Just
Get rid of the
fix it.
fucking legs.
Just fix it, or make it a different species. Make it not just a T-Rex with 4 legs. Make it something else. Like,
Yeah.
God. And also, something that really bugged me, there was not a single herbivore in this film. They were all
that's
carnivores.
true. I noticed that like after we left the movie, I was like talking to after I called you,
Mm-hmm.
like we went Sam and we went back to my place and I put on fucking I think a Prehistoric Planet because I just wanted to watch something good.
Something good dinosaur related.
And I was like, wait, there was like no herbivores in that entire movie. It was all like carnivores and shit.
Yeah, which like I get because it's kind of going for like more of a horror tone, but like you can still, you can still achieve that. I mean, for as much as we didn't like Jurassic World Dominion, the Therizinosaurus is an herbivore.
Yeah,
and the scene where that species comes in Dominion is really quite terrifying. So it's
probably the best scene in that entire movie.
It is. So like you could have done something with herbivores in this film. There's precedent for it, but they just didn't because they went for the. Ironically enough, they went for the Jurassic World, the first one, MO with more teeth. It's just it's kind of you dropped the ball on.
I mean, they could have even just. Adding the herbivores would have been an even better way to have a bit more levity in the movie instead of all the stupid jokes that they ended up trying to put in with the fucking bug goop hand.
Yeah.
Like, you could have showed that, like, oh, like, this planet's terrifying, but also, like, there's, like, beautiful life here instead of just a bunch of shit that wants to kill us.
Exactly.
So it's terrible.
It's
And then that would have added like a little bit more like, oh no, there's the meteor.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just being like, oh, let's get the fuck out of here and let all these dumb bird things get blown the fuck up. Stupid.
Yeah.
This is bad decision after bad decision.
It really is. And
like this takes every point that we made in our like dinosaur love letter video or episode and just spits on it.
It kind of does, and I feel bad.
Like it's everything wrong with like dinosaur media.
It is like here we were thinking, Jurassic World Dominion. It's the last of the Jurassic series for now. Let's get something else. Let's get some other dinosaur media here, and this is the first big thing we get since the Jurassic series ended. Really?
Now you know that now you know that whenever anyone tries to make another good dinosaur thing ever again, they're gonna point to this movie and be like, oh, people didn't really like that one.
Yeah, exactly.
It can't give you a big budget or any budget.
See, what we need, Brian, what we really need is someone needs to get millions of dollars. Actually, I'm going to double check this because I want to compare the budgets. This does not have a budget on Wikipedia, so that's not helpful. Never mind. We need someone to get just a couple $1 million and do a big budget remake of Tammy and the T-Rex, and then we will have a good dinosaur movie, finally.
You have never watched Tammy and the T-Rex.
You should, because it is exactly the kind of movie we would cover on this show.
I think I know the one that you're talking about.
It's on Shudder. It is technically a Shudder exclusive.
It's the one with Denise Richards. That's right.
Yes. And
It's got Paul Walker in it too.
It was one of Paul Walker's first ever roles.
Wow. Yeah, I back when Dead Meat was covering like a bunch of super obscure movies, they had, I think they either covered this or talked about covering it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that looks funny.
It is.
Watch that.
It's not a good movie, but it is like exactly up my alley and therefore also up your alley.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I would be down for a big budget remake, and we should definitely open up a fucking Kickstarter for it because I would watch it.
Yeah, we just put our own money.
Let's
finally,
email Denise
put...
Richards, the agents, right now.
Oh my god. I'll finally put my
we'll
my
make
film...
it like a requel where it's like we get like Denise Richards back and she's like old, like jaded Tammy. I don't know how the original movie ends, but I'm gonna go with Tammy still alive.
My god.
Yeah.
I'll finally put my film degree to use in remaking fucking Tammy and the T-Rex. Perfect.
Honestly, is there another way you'd want it to go?
Not in the least.
Exactly.
So,
well, we should probably get back on topic.
Yes.
Here.
As much as I want to keep talking about Tammy and the T-Rex.
Yeah. Well, we should do an episode on it.
Yeah.
We'll add it to the pile of episode ideas. So we covered the dinosaurs, covered the shit story, covered the bad tonal dissonance.
Is there really anything else we need to cover?
We could talk about the meteor for a hot minute.
I guess yeah.
I mean, it is the end of the movie, so it's going to be the end of our review.
This is true. They make it off. They escape the meteor and they go. Who fucking knows where they? I guess they go back home.
So I had a realization while
an epiphany
while at work today. While at work today, thinking about what I wanted to say during this review.
Okay.
And I did have an idea that I think Adam Driver killed the dinosaurs. I think when he crashed, I think he hit the meteor on a collision course with Earth. Okay. And that's my headcanon.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is that I wish he didn't make it off the planet because then it would have been the coolest suicide ever.
And then, like, in millions of years, paleontologists would find more or less a human skeleton and be like, what the fuck? Where did this guy come from?
It's pretty cool. Fun. Pretty cool idea.
I will say,
should make a movie out of it.
Unironically, I do like the end credit sequence where it shows like Earth developing over millions of years. That was cool. Actually really, really cool. I really liked that a lot.
I actually stayed through the credits because of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was neat. I enjoyed watching that more than the rest of it. I forgot what I had said. I think when I was on the phone with you, I said like it feels like they just had a really good animation of the Earth getting blown up by the
and they had to use it somewhere.
They just needed an excuse to have it on screen, shot from space.
Yeah,
and I still feel like that's accurate because like the actual collision itself looked really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, like, it's hard to mess up a gigantic explosion like that. So, I don't know. Well, that concludes my review for this movie. I don't know if you have any.
I haven't mentioned my favorite scene in the whole entire movie yet, so I should.
Oh yeah, well we have to do that. That's the most
you already did
part of all of our reviews.
You did. I don't know if it was a serious one or a meme one, but my favorite scene in the whole entire movie was the culmination of the final boss battle where he's fighting the gross-looking Freakosaurus Rex, and they lure him to stand on top of the geyser, and it doesn't work at first, but then it works the second time, and it's not really clear why, but the second time, the heat from the geyser literally melts the flesh off of the dinosaur, and it looks fucking rad. It straight up looks like a death metal album cover, and I loved it. It was really, really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool, and also because that thing was dead.
Yeah, it was good to see that thing put out of its misery.
Yeah, every step was just pain for it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was my favorite scene in the whole entire movie.
I think that's probably that scene. And what was the last scene that
I
I
don't
said?
remember. I already forgot.
Oh, I already forgot. God damn, that sucks. Whatever.
I'll text you tomorrow when I'm editing this, and I'll remind you.
I already forgot. That's how forgettable it is.
Not a very good.
No, I give this movie a pretty bad out of 10.
Yeah. I think when I put it on Letterboxd, I gave it a 2 out of 5, and I think the more I think about it,
it's a 1.
Yeah, I might have to go down a little
Dave,
bit.
it's a 1.
So,
I don't know how you landed on a 2, but
because it was funny bad.
I'm
kind of here and there on rating movies that are funny bad. Like, I enjoyed Scream 3, for instance, but it's an objectively bad movie, so I give it a 1.5.
Yeah,
but
I think just rating movies with numbers is kind of
I mean, that's true.
Kind of out at this point, but I don't know. That's a whole other can of worms for another time.
Any final thoughts on 65 the movie, Brian?
Wow.
That's a good
when
final
I asked
word.
For more dinosaur stuff. This is not what I meant.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to our next and final segment. What new cool kaiju thing are you checking out right now? Brian, is there any new cool kaiju thing that you're checking out right now?
No.
Cool.
This movie broke me.
I love how you never have anything to contribute to this segment, Brian. It's so cool.
I know, it's really bad.
It's so cool of you.
I'm sorry, Dave.
If you were sorry, Brian, you wouldn't let it continue to happen.
But hey, it gives you more time to talk about whatever you're checking out.
I mean, Transformers Dark of the Moon. I mentioned
God.
I think the last episode I was talking about Revenge of the Fallen. So I guess I can talk about Dark of the Moon. It's better than 2, but I don't have as much nostalgia for it, so I don't really like it as much. That's kind of all I got.
Oh wait, I have one actually.
Okay, let me finish up here though, Brian. God.
I rewatched Dinosaur with Sam.
Oh, the Disney movie?
The Disney movie.
Oh, how was that? Because I see a lot of people talking like on YouTube, like YouTube critics like talking about how shitty that movie is, but I loved that movie as a kid. I'm interested to hear how it holds up.
It's well, I don't want to be a big bummer. It definitely wasn't as good as I remember it being.
Okay.
Like I remember loving that movie as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably haven't watched it in like a decade, probably longer.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really remember what my last thoughts on it were, but it was still entertaining. Like, it was a good movie. I thought that, like,
Willem Dafoe is in that movie, right?
I think so. Let me look it up.
I think he's one of the guys, the iguanodons. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Holy shit! It came out in 2000. Damn.
Okay, no, then I have no. It's someone like recognizable. I know.
Yeah, I don't think.
Hold on, I'm looking it up. Who am I thinking of right now? Okay, I don't really know who I'm thinking of then, because I'm not seeing anyone.
Well, that's a weird one. Hayden Panettiere is in this movie.
I saw that. Yeah.
That's probably that's the only one that I'm recognizing right here.
I mean, I know Alfred Woodard.
Yeah.
But okay, I don't know who I'm thinking of then. Never mind.
I
Ignore
don't know.
me.
Anyways, I guess my opinion on it is that it's fun. It's definitely a kids movie. There were some shots that looked really bad, and there were quite a few that were surprisingly good for 2000. The story was fine, but yeah, I like the fact that they used the Carnotaurus as the main threat.
Yeah, and
That was
those
cool.
and boy do those Carnotaurs look good. That's some peak character
Yeah.
design. Love it.
That was probably the highlight. They looked really good. Um, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It was good. It was decent.
All right.
I don't think it's shit though. Anyone who says it's shit, like that's I mean, you can have your opinion on it, but it's really not that bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say definitely if you're wanting to form an opinion on it, you should just watch it because it's actually like pretty fast. It's like 90 minutes.
Yeah, I remember it being pretty short, but yeah, back on Transformers, I am tomorrow as of recording this, I'm going to be watching Transformers Age of Extinction, and I have not actually seen that movie before, so it's going to be very interesting for me.
You are not going to be able to rely on nostalgia to get yourself.
I am not. I mean, I already said, I don't have a whole lot of nostalgia for Dark of the Moon, so it was not as engaging as the first two. So Age of Extinction is gonna be rough, I think.
When you're done with all these, you're gonna have to give your best to worst lineup.
I probably will. I mean, I can probably already tell you right off the bat, even before finishing watching them, I can tell you what it's gonna be.
I have a feeling. I know. Are you gonna be also watching Bumblebee?
Of course, I'm gonna be watching Bumblebee because
I think that's the only Transformers movie that I actually like.
Yeah, because this my doing this is like to prepare for Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, and that's kind of like a soft sequel to Bumblebee. So
I saw the trailer for that before 65, and I still think that it looks bad.
I think it looks really good, and I'm excited for it.
Maybe my entire perception of Transformers has just been ruined by Michael Bay's bullshittery. But I don't know.
Fair.
I don't know. Bumblebee was okay. I mean, it was pretty good.
I don't remember because I fell asleep during it because I'm pretty sure I did a double feature with John Wick Chapter 3 and Bumblebee, and we did John Wick first, so I passed out during Bumblebee.
John Wick 3 is a long movie.
It is a long movie, yes.
Wow, I don't know why you didn't start with Bumblebee.
I don't know.
Bumblebee's significantly shorter.
They just came out. It was opening day. We just kind of pick and choose at random.
Oh, I thought you meant that you the last time you watched them.
Oh no, this is when they came out in the theaters.
Oh, gotcha. That's a different story.
Yeah. So, I keep thinking there's something else I was checking out, but I don't remember what it was, and I'm gonna be kicking myself for it. Oh well.
Well, you can always add it back in later during editing.
That's too much of a hassle.
That's fair. You can add it right here in a robot voice if you want, like one of the text-to-speech bots.
I could use the TikTok robot voices that I hate with a passion.
Oh, you should use the one that's super bass boosted.
I could.
The one that's just that ruins your ears whenever you hear it.
Yeah.
And your phone's on full volume, and you're just like, I wish I was dead right now.
Mm-hmm. But I think that'll do it for the show. That you were right, Brian. This is a very short episode. We're just over an hour right now, which is pretty rad.
Really, just over an hour?
Yeah,
God
hour
damn.
and 6 minutes right now, and that's before editing. But hey, Brian, I meant to ask you this before, but I'll ask you it now while we're recording. Are we doing an episode next week for our April Fool's special to actually get it out by April Fool's Day?
Sure.
Cool.
Why not?
All right, so next week we'll be doing our first ever April Fool's special, and should we say what it is, or should we keep it under wraps for now?
I don't remember, so you're gonna have to remind me.
I'll say it right off the bat. as you all know, listeners and friends, we on Talking Toku have a very loose definition of the term kaiju.
Yep.
Demonstrated by the fact that we're covering 65, because that's not really a kaiju movie. Well, I mean, actually, with that four-legged thing, I guess that's kind of a kaiju, considering it's not an actual fucking dinosaur. That's for sure. Anyways, my lovely DCM co-host Howard had the galaxy brain idea of, what if we were to go through every Disney movie and determine whether or not it's a kaiju film?
Oh my god, that's right. I like this idea.
You right off the bat, you'd think absolutely not, but then you think, hey, there's that dragon in Sleeping Beauty.
Yep.
Hey, Monsters Inc. is a thing.
Yep.
And so on and so forth. So,
and not all kaiju have to be big.
This is true. I think for when we do it next week, I think we're
gonna have to make like a bullet point list of
like
criteria.
The rules. I think the criteria is going to be if it's a kaiju in regards to the main characters. So, like, for example...
Oh my god, so that means that the fucking... what's the one with, like, the ants and shit?
A Bug's Life?
Yeah. That's a kaiju movie.
Yeah, the bird in A Bug's Life. There's that, and also, like, the anglerfish from Finding Nemo. Or the sharks. So, you know... So I think that'll be a really funny episode to do. So look out for that next week. But I think that'll be it for today. I hope you enjoyed this review of a terrible, terrible movie.
Yeah, we this episode didn't get as yelly as I thought it was going to be.
It was still very negative, but it wasn't as punching baggy as we thought it would be.
Yeah. Usually we like to give stuff the benefit of the doubt, but you know what? No. Fuck this movie.
Yeah, we tried. We tried our damnedest to give it the benefit of the doubt. I mean, we tried to find positives. We found at least 2 positives out of a whole 90-minute movie.
Yeah. Yep.
We tried our best, and no one can say we didn't. So, all right. Let's fucking wrap this up. This has been Talking Toku. We're on all kinds of different socials. We're on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, all at Talking Toku. You can come hang out and chat with us in the Kaiju United Discord server. There's also the Kaiju United website that is now live. It's got a bunch of cool different things up right now. You know what?
Listen to our last episode about it.
2 episodes even.
Last 2 episodes about it. If you haven't, go listen.
Yeah,
it's fun. Especially the last one.
I'm just gonna bring up the website, see what's on the homepage. There is a 50th anniversary retrospective for Godzilla vs. Megalon. Happy birthday, Godzilla vs. Megalon. There is a article about the politics of Godzilla King of the Monsters that I actually read the other day. It was very, very well informed. It actually gave me a little more appreciation for that film. And this just went up yesterday. It's an interview with Mason Zilla, who is a toy photographer in the community. So yeah, go check out those things. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but yours truly has an article up there as well. That went up on March 11th, so you can go check that out.
I was actually going to read that when we wrap this up.
Well, there you go.
I got a free night.
Yeah.
You can be like me.
And also, Jacob Lingle, friend of the show, Jacob, posted his review for The Lake. So you can go check that out. And The Beast Below, which is a movie that I keep wanting to mention on here, but I keep forgetting about it. But now it's out, so you can go check out his review of that as well. And that sounds like a really fun movie. I think we should cover it as well. But I'm rambling at this point, so we should wrap up. My name is David.
I'm Bryan. I remembered.
Good job. I'm proud of you. That was Talking Toku. We will see you guys next week.
Bye.